Steph Curry did Steph Curry things in that series against Houston.
Yeah.
So what do you want?
I thought they were just too young.
All right, so before we reveal what the public said here off of our Twitter poll question again, which you can get at the 643 and out pod, I want to remind everybody who is listening to us live right at the moment, several people are, that you can do the comments. You can click on the comment button and you can leave your comments, as a couple of people already are as well. So we appreciate that. We appreciate all of you, and we appreciate all of you being a part of the show in these Twitter poll questions. So which NBA team is the biggest surprise not being in the final four teams here of this playoff system? We said Celtics, Cavaliers, Lakers, and Rockets. Gabriel, nobody agrees with you because no one voted for the Rockets. We got 25% Lakers, 25% Cavaliers, and 50% are voting for the Celtics right now. So, yeah, that's what our people think. So we'll defer to them for the time being, right? And maybe we are not as smart as we think we are. So let's get to question number 3 here, and it has to do with Jokic, right? So I take that back. Let's do the NBA finding somebody. We'll do Jokic here in just a second, okay? So the NBA has fined Jalen Williams $25,000 for wearing a shirt that said a word that rhymes with duck, right? So it said, duck art, let's dance. Gabriel, do you agree with the fine? $25,000 for wearing a shirt that had a colorful language on it is what we'll call it?
Listen, I'm one of those where I'm more on the player side when it comes to fines, particularly in the NFL, for example, with hits. Like you're playing the game and you're going to get fined for playing the game of football with, a football play. For something like this, though, Jalen Williams, he knew very much. He knew full well what wearing this shirt would, and it ultimately did end up costing him, in this case, quite literally, $25K. Listen, there's certain stuff that you could excuse and you could say, well, it's not really too much of a big deal. But if it's that if it's gonna have, profanity on the shirt right there, big bold letters, that's going to get the result that it ended up getting. You just know that. So, for this one specifically, I'm not too terribly upset about it.
All right. So, Jordan, what about you? Are you upset that they fined Jalen Williams $25,000 for wearing the shirt that he did in the press conference following the win in Game 7 against the Nuggets?
Fine doesn't matter. Try to back it up. That's all I gotta say. Back it up. You're gonna talk all that. You gotta at least back it up. You're down. You're down by at least by 7, and Jalen Williams has 4 points. So if they lose this series, my brother in Christ, you're wearing that shirt and for the first 12 minutes you only got like 4 points, four rebounds, and one field goal. You kidding me? You gotta back it up, man.
All right, so you're talking the stats for today's game, right?
Yeah, exactly. Tonight's game. Okay. Like, you gotta back it up.
Okay, got that. So Jordan, I'll stick with you and ask you the second question here. Because I don't think I do. I mean, I might, but if it's really the meaning that I think it is, that's like dumb. Why are you doing that for, right? So, what is...
At least buy him dinner first. Come on.
I mean, do you understand the meaning of the shirt that he wore? Because I don't think I do.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't?
Just pray Ant don't dunk on you, man. Come on. Just pray. He's just praying that Ant doesn't dunk on him. Like, God, if Ant dunked on him, it'll be comedy gold, baby. It'll be gold.
All right, Gabriel. Do you understand the reference of the shirt? Because I don't know. Maybe I'm just too old and I don't get it, or something's happened here. But so it was. We'll say again. We'll use the word duck instead of the word that it really was. Right. So we'll say it said duck art. Let's dance. What is he saying?
Yeah, I think he wants Jordan to go out dancing. That's my best guess. That's my best guess.
Exactly. Let's dance, man. Let's dance. Come on.
I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you.
Let's dance.
I mean, if you're going to wear a shirt, like you said, Gabriel, if you're going to wear a shirt that you know is going to get you fined, right? At least have it be a comical shirt. At least, wear something where people are going to laugh at it. They're going to understand what it is and be like, okay, that was worth the $25K that you got fined. So he's getting fined $25K, and I don't even understand what the shirt was referencing. I mean, that's like double back, right? You like double down on stupid. So
No, I'm with you.
I don't understand, but whatever. Let's go to Nikola Jokic. I think this is going to be interesting for all of us to kind of look at here as far as what Jokic said real fast. So he was asked by a reporter, quote, "Do you think the Nuggets can still win a championship with this core?" And to which he answered, "I mean, we didn't, so obviously we can't." So, Gabriel, I'll start with you. Do you like his honesty? Or when he's asked, can we win with his core, should his answer just always be yes?
I mean, yikes. What kind of answer is that? It's basketball. So it's five. I don't know if you know this, Jordan, but it's 5-on-5. What you do is you have a chance if you have the best player in the world or arguably the best player in the world in Nikola Jokic, and that's who he is. So I hate that answer for a multitude of reasons. In terms of answering you directly, yeah, I guess he's living in the moment, a moment of, following the law's honesty. I guess I don't mind it, but yeah, I'd rather he says something, to the effect of, they got our number today, but we can win with this core. We got to work in the off season, retool that kind of, that kind of thing. So I don't love it, Michael. I just don't.
All right, Jordan. So same question to you, and I'll remind you, they did go to a game 7, so it's not like they got blown out or they got swept or anything like that. So does that change your theory on what Nikola Jokic said when he said, "I mean, we didn't, so obviously we can't"?
Well, if you watch that game 7, it was ugly as hell. It was not good. The entire team just died. Like Porter shot 3 for 8. He's probably living at real estate in China right now, so that's fun. Aaron Gordon went 2 for 4. Jokic only got like 20 points, 5 for 9, 9-11. Like he was fine, but like he was a minus 23. Like they're thankful they won the champ. They won a championship with this core, but like, oh god, it's ugly. And the fact that they literally fired their head coach days before the playoffs just showed you that this team's in chaos right now. It's gonna be in hell. Jokic answered the question like, thank God I don't have to do this. I don't have to do this. I go back home to my horses. I love my horses. Like, it's just, God, it's gonna be bad in Denver soon. Like, this option is gonna be cool to see.
All right, so I think you were pointing this part out, and I'm going to stick with you a second and ask you the second part of the question that I've got here, which is, do you think he was sending a message? Do you think Jokic is sending some kind of message, like we need to blow this score up? What do you think?
Well, here's the thing. Look at your free agents. Like, are you gonna bring Russ? Are you gonna bring back DeAndre Jordan? Are you gonna bring back PJ? What are you gonna do with Mike Porter Jr.? Like, are you gonna trade him? Like, they got a lot of questions in this off season, and like, I think that they might need to cut some dead weight. Like, Porter Jr. is probably on his way out of here, so it's gonna be very interesting to see.
All right, Gabriel, what do you think about when Jordan said cutting the dead weight? Do you think maybe that Denver's going to do some of that? They're going to change this, or you think they're going to try to stick with this core and bring it back and try to run it back?
I think that the move of firing Coach Malone indicates that they do not have faith in this core anymore, which is
which is a little bit interesting to say because, they did win it. They did win it not too long ago. But I think window, we have this championship window. Jokic is still amazing. Again, I have him as the best player of the world. If you have SGA as the best player of the world, then I can't imagine you have Jokic too much lower than 2. So he's pretty good. I think that I think we're going to see a significantly different look Denver Nuggets team next year here, Michael.
All right. So then what do you think about the sudden firing? Gordon mentioned it as well in his rebuttal a second ago. When they fired the coach just a few days before the finals took place. Do you think did it help them? Did it hurt them? Or what kind of signal did it send to the team and to the fan base?
As the Minnesota Timberwolves are up 40-36 right now on the Thunder as we are closing the first half here. It was very odd, very odd. I didn't understand it, and certainly I believe that it hurt them. Some people took a laugh out of, well, now Jokic is more of the coach. Now he's coaching too.
Power struggle, baby.
But right, it's not good. It's not good. You need to have a coach, particularly someone with Coach Malone's experience and pedigree. I'm not saying that they would have won it. Again, they did get it 2-7, but that was an ugly Game 7. So I have to think that maybe earlier in this series, Mike Malone does something so that it doesn't need to get to a Game 7 for Denver. That's just what I think potentially could have happened. Obviously, we don't know, and I may be giving Coach Malone too much of a benefit of the doubt, but to have that seismic shock of a move at that point of the season, I believe they were stepping. I believe they were in their Uber, right, at the airport, about to head off to the playoffs, and this happened. That's how I believe it happened. I don't know, Michael. I wasn't there, but right, it was that soon. It was that soon. So, listen, I guess if they go out and get someone, they win another championship here within the next 2-3 years, then they'll say they were vindicated, validated. If not, then wow, what a serious misstep.
Right. Okay. So Jordan Gabriel has used the word ugly as far as describing the Nuggets in this playoff series. You used the word ugly earlier. How ugly was it, Jordan?
Oh, it was ugly. That Game 7, dear Lord in heaven, it was bad. Like they I think they were down like 20, 30 to end the first half. Like, which is 26-21, Nuggets lead. Okay, they're down. Then OKC literally just destroyed them, like 39-20. Like, it was bad. It was terrible. Game 7, they just played goose egg and they died. Like, Jokic just literally does not care. He's like, I'm gonna go back home, go back to my horses. I love my horses.
Like, all right, so give us the ugly one more time, Jordan. How ugly was it? Go ahead.
It was ugly.
It was ugly. All right. So we're gonna look at who we think is gonna have the better series here, okay? And Gordon, I'm gonna stick with you for a second. I'm gonna give you two people. You tell me who you think's gonna have the better series. So Halliburton or Brunson, who's gonna have the better series?
This is serious. This is legit.
Well, it's not too serious because he just went away. So, Gabriel, I'll go with you for a second. So, Halliburton, I see. I'll pull you back up here, Gordon. Give me just a second. So, Halliburton or Brunson. I know he was mouthing off, and then all of a sudden, and I didn't even do anything. He did that to himself. So what do you think, Halliburton or Brunson, Gabriel?
Not too serious whatsoever. I'm gonna go Halliburton. He's someone who he had an awful start to the season. It was meme worthy. Right, he had the participation medal, as many would call it, from the Olympics. But he's really done well. He's turned around, and it seems like he's the right kind of guy to lead this Pacers team. Jalen Brunson, what I'm worried about is all of those minutes adding up, and it just being too much for him. And then Mikal Bridges' late block, for example, not happening, or Karl Anthony Towns, vanishing act. So that's not a slight on Brunson. He's one of my favorite guards. I just think that Halliburton's going to end up being the guy that gets it done for his team.
All right, Jordan, you going to agree or disagree with Gabriel?
Hey, there's a man that put that's literally you put that brother literally just literally crisscross applesauce, and he was icy to win against the Pistons. Literally put 20 to 30 against Boston. In a like, you go with Jalen Brunson, you go Bill Novan, you go with the two in the paint on the stick. Come on, like Halliburton's fine, but like in a series in which like when everyone's healthy, yeah, it's not gonna be fun. It's gonna be ugly.
I mean, crisscross applesauce. God's sake. I mean, right? You got to go with the other guy. Okay. So Jordan, I'll give you a chance to go first on this one. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander or Anthony Edwards? Which one will have the better series, sir?
Now that's a legit tough one. I might have to go with the ant. Like he's just literally like him and Randall are literally carrying this team right now. It's just been great to see. Like SGA, like I'm slightly preferring Ant, but SGA's been MVP candidate. He is a foul merchant, but a solid foul merchant. But I have to go with Ant because like he's just leading the team right now. Ant's a beast.
All right. Gabriel, we're going to go with you. Ask the same question. We got these two guys, and then I'll give you guys both a second to be thinking about it. Because the last question that we're going to look at here in the NBA before we jump into the National Football League will be who's going to be in the finals. So we'll close out our NBA talk with that question here in just a moment. But for you, Gabriel, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander or Anthony Edwards?
And this is another good one. I think SGA is, and you can't fault him for this. I think he's on a very good overall team. He's obviously individually brilliant as well. Not saying he's not. I think Anthony Edwards is that guy though for Minnesota, and he's going to show it. I view that this Minnesota team kind of has embodied his personality more so. Where OKC, it's like okay, even without SGA, they're still pretty good. so if I'm going just one-on-one that individual matchup, I would go Anthony Edwards.
Okay, so both of you are taking Anthony, but it's by a small margin. So then that leads me to the next question. And Jordan, I'm going to go back down to you. I'm going to give Gabe a rest here. I got to let him rest those things. We're going to give you a second to take a swig of what you say is water in that container, which I ain't sure about right at the moment. But Jordan, what two teams will be in the NBA Finals?
Thunder, they're the complete team.
Okay, so Thunder on one side.
I think Thunder might take it's gonna be a 7-game series. Thunder.
Okay. So Thunder against two, Jordan.
New York, baby. Orange and blue skies. I'm seeing the orange and blue skies right now. We've beaten the defending champs, and we're facing against the Pacers team. That's led by Halliburton, who's focused on snowbuddies. Naismith, Miles Turner, it's Siakam. Oh my goodness!
All right, so I will take the time to explain this for. All right, so I'll take the time to explain this to all of our fans right at the moment. Gabriel and Jordan are friends, no matter what Gabriel says, and they're both from New York, right? So you may get a little bit of homerism here out of one of them for every once in a while, but that's where we are right now, and that's why this last question here that'll wrap up the show is going to be really interesting. We got 11 teams in New York, and my two New York guys are going to rank those 11 teams in a certain way. Well, we'll get to that here in just a little bit, but Gabriel Jordan gave us his opinion. Who do you think is going to be in the NBA Finals as we
that's not an omen of positivity. The orange and blue sky. That's the sign of the apocalypse, signifying the crashing down of the New York season. Indiana Pacers versus